When I was 16 years old, life forced me to grow up much faster than I ever imagined. Not because I wanted to, not because I was ready, but because I had no choice. COVID had shut the world. My father was hospitalized. Fear entered our home like a silent storm. And for the first time, it felt what it truly meant to be scared, truly helpless. But in that fear, a voice inside me whispered, if you don't act now, you will lose everything. And that voice became the beginning of my story. We had recently moved from Kulaba to Thane. Kulaba was alive, noise, people, energy. Thane was silent, unfamiliar, isolated. I had just finished my 10th and chose science because my father dreamed I would become a doctor. But deep inside, I had no connection with it. But I kept trying. I traveled to Wilson College in Churchgate. I attended classes. I pretended to be interested. But slowly, I could feel myself drowning in expectations, in confusion, in silence. Then COVID came. It went online. The college and everything, it was online. And I was stuck in a home where my dreams had no place to breathe. I wasn't studying. I wasn't motivated. I wasn't passionate. I felt lost. And I felt guilty for feeling lost. Then everything changed when my father got admitted during COVID. I had never experienced that fear before. I realized something that day. My parents have done everything for me. And now they needed me. This was not a time to hide. This was a time to stand up. When he came home, he looked at me and said something I never imagined. I think you're made for business. That one sentence awakened something in me. Not because he told me I was capable, but because someone finally saw me. That was the moment responsibility entered my life. And responsibility changes everything. We needed income. Lockdown was strict and only essential business could operate. So my father suggested something I had never imagined. Let's start a raw fish business. I was 16. I had never run a business. I had never even touched a raw fish properly. But I said yes. Not because I was confident, but because I was responsible. Every morning at 5 a.m., I would take orders. People complained. People shouted. Delays, quality issues. Everything came at once. I cried silently at nights, but every morning I would wake up and I started again. The fish business became my unofficial MBA. It taught me sales, patience, communication, customer handling, the kind of skills no college will ever teach. Most importantly, it taught me resilience. It showed me that pressure does not break you, it builds you. One day, while running the fish business, I saw a flat in Lodha and something inside told me, try selling this. I had no idea what real estate was. No contacts, no experience, no confidence, no training. But I showed the apartment to that client anyway. I was shy, I was nervous, I was smiling a lot because I didn't know how to behave. But I kept trying. And my second client was an NRI. That deal changed everything for me. At 17-year-old, I closed my first real estate transaction. People judged my age. People judged my gender as a woman. People judged my ability. But age is not a disadvantage. Inexperience is not a disadvantage. Being young is not a disadvantage. Then what is a disadvantage? Inaction, fear, waiting. Then, for the few years, I kept learning, I kept understanding, and responsibility came step by step. New opportunities came, new challenges came, and every experience shaped me. I worked with hundreds of clients, built professional relationship, and slowly found my direction. I completed my BBA and began my MBA, balancing studies with work, and it went really good. And recently, I took a new step by opening my first real estate office in Thane. And that showed me how a single decision can take you where. Do I still have challenges? Yes. Do I still feel overwhelmed? Yes. Do I still feel like quitting sometimes? Yes. But every time I feel that way, I remind myself, God didn't bring me this far for me to stop now. And you should remind yourself too. This is the message I want every, especially young person, to hear. You do not need to be ready. You do not need to know everything. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need an approval. What you need is responsibility. Responsibility creates readiness. Action creates confidence. Courage is built in motion. If I waited to feel ready, I would still be waiting. I was a 16-year-old girl selling fish during lockdown because my family needed me. Then I started real estate. Today, I stand here as someone who continues to learn, grow, and take ownership of a future. Not because I was prepared, but because I took one step and then another, then another. Your future does not need perfection. Your future needs motivation. Your future needs movement from yourself. So today, I leave you with this. Start before you're ready. Because readiness is not the beginning of success, it is the result of it. And as a matter of fact, because I could support my father, my younger sister studied doctor because it was my father's dream and she is in US right now. So everything God has planned and you should give a credit for it. Thank you so much.